Joining me now for the latest on developments in Afghanistan and Pakistan is Rick Barton. He is co-director of the Post-Conflict Reconstruction Project at the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington. Thanks for being with us. President Obama said yesterday that he's putting another 17,000 American troops in Afghanistan. What will their mission be?
Well, I think it's unclear, but the first mission is to make sure that the negative trend line is reversed and that the soldiers that we have there are not put at greater risk. If the soldiers that are going in are assigned to the south where the greatest problems are, in particular Kandahar, Helmand province, those areas, that will be a positive step. But they also have to get out of the garrisons and out of the military bases and are going to have to be much more in the villages and at the district level if this sort of rising tide of violence that has really intimidating the Afghan public is to be reversed.
I think one of the key questions many people would love to know the answer to is what are the chances of success?
I think this year's success will be to stabilize the country. Next year's success will be to actually make the people of the country feel much safer. That has to happen. And also to see whether the Afghan forces are able to do more on their own and the police, and that's going to depend on a rapid response capability that has not at this time been provided by the NATO forces, so that when the Afghans get in trouble, they know they can be bailed out. Otherwise, with the level of skill that they have right now, they're not going to be able to provide that front line or take over, as I believe they should within a few years.
Do you think that more American troops will eventually have to be deployed to Afghanistan?
Well, the number that's been talked about for some time is an additional 30,000, and this is 17 of that 30,000. I don't think anybody knows whether the number is correct because we really haven't figured out what we have in terms of the Afghan capability and what local ownership there is. Until you know that, it's pretty hard to say that 15 or 30 is the right number. But we do know that every time we fight the Taliban face to face, we're likely to win. But the minute we go away, which is usually right after the fight, the Taliban climb right out of the trees and they take over the area and they intimidate the local populace. So there's going to have to be a negotiation, but there's also going to have to be a much better assessment of how we can develop Afghan capability.
I want to turn quickly to Pakistan. You said recently that it's at what you called an existential moment. What do you mean, and how will its future affect our efforts in Afghanistan?
The attacks that are taking place in Pakistan right now, both terrorist attacks and insurgencies, have not been able to be tamed by the Pakistani military. Everybody fell back on the Pakistani military for the last several decades, and this last 10-year period where General Musharraf and the military were in charge proved that they could not contain these kinds of insurrections. So there's a moment there of who could actually tame the countryside. Pakistan probably needs outside help, probably doesn't know how to ask for it, and it's unclear that the international community would know what to offer if the problem gets more serious there. So we have a very, very serious problem in Pakistan. There's not the international capability or the humility at home to ask for the assistance.
Rick Barton, thank you very much for your insight today.
Thank you.